Well, I thought this week it would just be easier to verbally tell you all that's going on and to say a couple thank yous. Thank you number one, Victor and Wendy. Boy, you know how to put things together and make it fun and family, folksy. And that's the thing about Sukkot. It's supposed to be a joyous time. And one of the things that I loved, I watched those kiddos running around with our candles that were supposed to last a while, but I thought to myself, this is something that they're going to remember forever, and they're associating joy with the kingdom of God and with obeying God's commandments. So that is so good. Thank you, Victor and Wendy. Thank you, all of you, for participating and making it a joyous time. You know, when we all do that and we love on one another, this is what God's commandments are about. And yes, they're about Jesus. They're about Yeshua, for sure. But, you know, think about parents. They want their kids to be together, loving one another, enjoying one another. And we were doing that. And I just want to say thanks. I also want to say thanks to Tamara Anderson. She's kind of facilitating the Sukkah hopping. And no, we're not at all one location, but I'm noticing on Facebook and so forth, you're being fellowshipy. You're being friends. You are inviting one another and fellowshipping with one another in your sukkahs or temporary dwellings throughout the week. And you're building relationship. And I just want to say this is good. It's healthy. This is what we're supposed to be about as a community. So we're doing it. And I say thank you. Another thing is, you know, I was like kind of bummed when we couldn't go to the Blue Goose for the Day of Atonements. And, you know, I don't know that I get freaked out. I just kind of like, well, what am I going to do now? I mean, Lord, this is Yeshua's house, not mine. So I'm pretty good about just letting God do what God does. But to have Roseville Baptist just kind of open their doors, and we're doing that. And it was, I don't know, for Day of Atonements, it was just right and good. It was darker. We were already familiar with our environment, but the setting itself just allowed us to slow down, to identify with the afflictions of our Messiah, and to have a meaningful time. So what I thought was going to happen didn't, but what happened was better. And I just want to reflect with you and say, thank you, Yahweh, for your goodness, because we want to honor you in that way. And then the eighth day, we're going to be back this Shabbat after the 26th main gathering. We're going to go back to Victor and Wendy's and have a little bit different experience, probably more some singing around a campfire. I'll teach on the eighth day, and we'll discuss, that topic. And just look forward to a time where there will be a new heaven and new earth, and we'll walk with our Messiah forever and eternity. So if you can make that would be great, because when you're there, we're building fellowship. Now, on the 26th itself, we're starting the Torah portion cycle again. Hopefully, I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'm inviting people. But there'll be people that come that have never heard about Jesus and his kingdom. And it'll be a little bit different in that we're going to just focus on the Genesis text, and we'll do that all the way through Deuteronomy this time in this whole Torah portion cycle. It will be laden with Jesus, with Yeshua. But in doing that, we'll be more focused, and we'll grow together as a community. And so I'll still do my teaching time, but then we'll have an extended conversation time about the Torah portion after the speaking time. So I just look forward to seeing how that works. I think it's going to be good and edifying for everybody. And if it's not, we'll change it. So the goal is that we come together and Sabbath together, rest in the Lord together, learn about him, and grow together. So there's that. Now, I have worked hard to develop a public Yeshua's house, and it's working, and that's pretty neat to see God at work, because I know the things that are happening are beyond me. Now, that said, this Shabbat would be really helpful if you've been a regular helper. I'm going to be there at 11 o'clock, and I will be praying between 11 and 11:30. If you want to join me in prayer, just for those that might be coming that have not given their hearts to our Messiah, I just want to pray for them, that they would hear that this God that we know loves them, and that it would be actually good news for their life, and that they would begin walking with him. But then Matt and Sarah usually show up at 11 o'clock, and they're in there in the main area doing setup and sound check and so forth, and there's that big backdrop that we set up. If you have the time and you want to come in at 11 o'clock to help us do some like chair moving, it's kind of like labor intensive. It would be helpful. Now, if you can't, if you normally come a little bit early, if you could come just maybe 10 or 15 minutes early, that would be nice, because there's probably some last minute stuff that needs to be done. Now, that said, if we get too many people, look, I'd like all the people we can get. But at the same time, if you get there and you find that you don't have anything to do, just know that it's not the easiest thing to get everyone in their roles and to, get everything consistent. So we're doing our best. If we could just be a family and help each other out, that would be awesome. But the service is going to start at 1 o'clock. Our service, that's just the wrong word. Fellowship. It's our time to be a body. And I want the outside world to see that. So yeah, there's that. Now, I did tell you that on November 23rd, we do not have the Roseville Baptist location. I could have pushed back on that, but they have been so gracious to us. I didn't want to do that. They forgot about a Thanksgiving gathering that they usually do during that time. And I just said, it's fine. We'll figure it out. Do I have a location for that time yet? I don't. But just like with the Blue Goose and the Day of Atonements, the Lord works out things better than what I would have thought. So maybe we're going to have something better for November 23rd. Let's just trust the Lord together and see what God does. Now, that said, I am going to start that newbie Bible study. If you're new to Torah, new to the Bible, like brand new, and you just want to get an overview that's 4 weeks, I am going to still start that November 2nd at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12. But I can only do it for 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, and then I'll have to put the last one, because it would have been on November 23rd. I'm now going to put that on the first Saturday in December. So it's still going to be 4 weeks. I just have to have a 2-week gap between the 3rd and the 4th because of obvious reasons. So anyway, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. And I just, from the bottom of my little tiny humble shepherd heart, to see what is happening at Yeshua's house and how it's developing and how people are caring for one another and wanting to joyfully walk in the commandments of God, it's quite a blessing for me. So I just want to say thank you as your brother and Messiah, and I look forward to seeing you on Shabbat.